Hey everybody, what's up? This is Jessica.
And I'm Michelle.
Welcome to Dish and Dine. We'll be dining on some delicious food.
And dishing about faith, love, sex, and relationships.
And discussing some of the hottest topics in the news.
We hope to inform,
encourage,
inspire,
and entertain you.
Welcome to Dish and Dine.
Hey everybody, I'm Jessica.
And I'm Michelle.
And welcome to Dish and Dine. This is episode 2 of the Dish and Dine podcast, and we have decided to make this a little bit of a YouTube series, right? Yeah, so we're super excited. If you want to watch the full recap video on YouTube, go ahead and watch. Also, remember to subscribe, but you can also go and listen on Spotify, Stitcher, all the other ones, just go listen. Y'all know, you can look in the description box and get it there. But we're getting ready to dine on some delicious food. We also got to sit down with celebrity stylist Bolin. Yes. But thank you to our chef Carlos
Cambriani.
Yes.
Of Frito with Fire Turnover.
In Frisco, Texas.
Wait a minute. The Prosecco is talking. I'm sorry. This is why I don't drink.
So y'all enjoy this episode of Dish and Dine. But y'all, we talked about in the last episode how in Dish and Dine we want to get together and really have real and authentic conversations. On this day, we actually have Chef Carlos
Cambriani. Yay, Chef Carlos Cambriani of Crudo Restaurant in Frisco, Texas. Crudo is sponsoring our podcast tonight.
Y'all, we're sipping on some delicious Prosecco.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink.
Clink, 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 clink.
Clink, clink. And I'm telling y'all, we are feeling really good right now and excited about this wonderful meal that Chef Carlos has prepared for us. But you know, guys, I want us to go ahead and dive right in.
Oh my goodness.
We have an amazing guest with us today.
Jessica, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
I'm really excited. And for our topic on confidence, he is the perfect person to discuss. Okay, I'm going to let you finish, and then I want to say a little bit about what I think about him.
Oh my goodness. No, go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and say what you want to say before we even read this
you
epic
go ahead
bio.
And introduce him, because I want to say my nickname that I've given him.
Oh, well, let me just start off by saying this. When we decided to create this topic for episode 2 of the Dish and Dine podcast, my mom came to me and she said, you know, we really have to talk about confidence, but confidence from the perspective of someone who is out there helping people achieve their greatest potential when it comes to confidence, but also someone that's transforming lives in the process. And so as we were looking around, just searching through the gram, I saw one person and we were like, that's it. So this person is thebomb.com. Y'all, this is celebrity stylist Jay Bolin. He is a celebrity stylist. Woo! Wait, you know what? Yes. Let's go ahead and clap for that.
Wow,
yes.
Standing ovation.
Woo! I can just see him.
Look at you.
Woo! Yes. We need a moment to just let that sink in.
Soak it in. Because one day you'll be on stage accepting an Emmy, you know.
Ooh.
He was styling.
Speak.
Wow, I received that.
Speak.
Yeah,
Speak
I received that.
Speak that into
existence. I received
existence.
the love as well.
Yeah. I love that you receive that. That's a part of confidence. Receiving that confidence.
That's
yes.
so true.
I love it. So let me read this bio, okay? Please. I gotta read it. So he is a celebrity stylist, creative director, speaker, and mentor. Jay Bolin has been an industry respected professional for a full decade, and he has amassed a diverse client portfolio that includes individuals like Vivica A. Fox, Michelle Williams, Pat and Emmett Smith, Boris Kodjoe, Morris Chestnut, Wendy Raquel Robinson, Nene Leakes, Yolanda Adams, Donnie McClurkin, Christina Milian, Mary, Sarah Jakes Roberts, who you be doing so much with. Honey, y'all be killing it. Killing it for real. I just added all that extra stuff. Niecy Nash, and the list goes on. His passion for styling shows through the fact that he is able to create unique individual looks crafted for each client while maintaining the J. Bolin signature. His distinct point of view, dedication to making every single one of his clients feel like a star, and endless drive to innovate has allowed him to remain competitive in an ever-changing industry. We are so honored and excited to have you on the show, Mr. J. Bolin.
Oh, wow. Can I just take you on the road to start speaking that for me? Before
Absolutely.
I get anybody stage? Oh my God, thank you guys so much for the love.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm so honored to be here.
I'm honored to have you.
Yes.
This is so fresh, and it's refreshing to see two beautiful chocolate women that are speaking on positive things that will uplift lives and that will change mindsets. So I'm excited to be here.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
Jay.
Thank you.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
excited.
Thank
We
you.
received that.
We received that.
We received that. Yes, thank you.
Can I tell you my nickname?
Yes, I want to know the nickname.
It's Spirit Changer.
Spirit Changer. Wow.
Because I told you when I saw you at the fashion show, to me, what you do is more than putting on clothes, because I see the after effect of women. And for me, watching that, not just women, but people that you style.
Yeah.
And for me, when I see the changes, it's like, wow, it's building confidence. For me, it's life-changing.
Yes, it definitely is. I mean, I've had the opportunity to meet some of the women that you've styled, Kim Olusanya being one of them.
Yes.
And that was actually what really attracted me to her, is seeing her story, learning about it through social media, and then seeing the transformation. And you've been a part of that journey.
Wow.
You've been a part of that.
Kim's a beautiful canvas, and we met at a really difficult time in her life, and we both feel like it was such a ministry moment. We feel like it was such a God moment. You know what I mean? So I was able to actually see myself develop and building and helping people's spirits and freeing their souls and their mindsets, and literally changing her mindset and life. Her life and mindset changed so swiftly. And like she said, most people change from the inside out.
Yeah.
But the most awkward thing happened in our situation, which both of us were learning at the same time, is that she was able to heal from the outside in. She was able to start healing from the clothing, and it wasn't because I was just putting clothes on her. We actually took it down a notch from the labels, from all the fabulous label clothing and all the expensive lavish clothing, that we started doing everyday, relatable, affordable pieces that created a style and a look for her. And she was able to look in the mirror and actually see herself versus actually seeing labels. So when she faced herself, she was actually able to go out and start to conquer the world more confidently every single day.
Wow.
And I love going out, seeing her smile. Every time I see her at an event or something, I see her, she's like a rising star that's in the mist and just shining. And she's so beautiful. But she's a beautiful canvas anyway, but it's just
Gorgeous.
it just shows you how God works everything. You know, with us meeting, it's more than just her being a client and me being a stylist.
Yeah, and I
So-
see that it's like that with all of your clients. It's more than them just being a client. It seems like you develop this relationship, and it's almost like it's your mission. It is your mission and your calling to bring out something. I feel like every woman and even man that I've seen you style, you're bringing something out of them. You're bringing something out. So you're more than just a stylist to us. You really are a spirit changer. A spirit changer.
Wow.
And I believe that God showed me that it is more than just putting layers of clothes on people. It is, I always say that our destiny is inside of us screaming, "Let me out." And I think that for a lot of people, when you style them, that it is able to open up something, and I see people's destiny really start walking in their destiny, and it's building, which is our topic, confidence. And when I said, well, we have to have him, because that's what he's doing is life changing.
I just had a friend yesterday that was in this building, and what she told me is that she said, I had a dream, and I need to tell you what happened in this dream. She said, I was in an interview talking on stage, and I told the audience that J. Bolin freed our souls. I literally broke down in tears. Like on the inside, I could feel the chills going through my body, because at that point, I realized that God has given me a really divine purpose when it comes to making sure that people are free. And I'm like, how in the heck am I going to free somebody when I'm the one who's working on continually being free? But God said that's okay, because we all are, like Michelle Obama says as well, we're all still becoming. So how do you ever get to that point? You know, it's that false hope or that false place that we all said that we're going to get to. But, you know, really, where is that place?
That is such a breath of fresh air. Like, it just, like it's a huge weight off the shoulders, just knowing that you're freeing people. And even though you may be trying to get free yourself, that God is like, no, it's okay, because you're on this journey of freeing people and you also becoming free.
And which is why I think I'm able to show a lot of grace and mercy and have a lot of patience along the way, because I understand the same grace that I give is the same grace that I would want to receive in the midst of me growing.
I'm a firm believer of that.
Yeah.
And I think I look at your journey and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. But in that process, you're constantly giving praise, constantly, for every blessing that comes, even in the midst, whether you're having a bad day, and you know, you talk about the journey. Well, today was a struggle.
Let me tell you, because it's scary. Even the point of somebody telling you that, like, oh, Jay, like, oh my God, we love that you praise God all the time. We love that you give God the glory, all this stuff. And we just love how you represent the kingdom. That to me is the scariest thing ever, because I know that I'm a flawed person. You know what I mean? So the fact that somebody even holds me at, every time somebody tries to hold me at a certain level, I always come back and try to denounce it, because I don't ever want that ego or that pride to become a part of my lifestyle, to start seeing myself the way that people see me. I really just want to see myself through the eyes of God, just to know that I am literally just a regular human being that has a divine destiny of making sure that I help free souls and build the kingdom.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So what does confidence look like for Jay Bolin, and where did you find your confidence?
This is so funny. So I just found my confidence since I moved to Dallas. I had a false confidence before I moved here.
Okay.
And that false confidence was me having to act like the majority of the people in the market, or whatever I saw in the market. So I started to act like that, or I started to act like what I thought joy was, or act like what I thought peace was, versus actually experiencing what real peace is, what real joy is, and what really being yourself is, what really being confident is. And so I was at a really elite party here, one of the filthiest is rich people you ever want to meet. I'm talking about just elaborate, and the place was just decked out. Everyone was dressed so nice, and you could walk in the room and smell money, right?
Ooh.
Smells like money.
It just smells like money when you walk in the room, right? And I remember going in and being conformed, like, as in I needed to wear a suit, and I needed to hold my shoulders like them. I needed to talk a certain way. I needed to talk about myself and my career. I needed to ask people what they did before I asked them their name. And so I was actually operating things extremely backwards. And I saw one lady in the room, Tisha Owens, she has big, bright red hair and big personality. Saw her walking around the room, and she was just working the room. And it wasn't working the room with a purpose, like a motive of trying to get something out of the room. But she just knew that what was hers is for her, and it'll come to her, period.
Come on, speak
So
now.
as I saw her walk in the room, I remember stopping her that night and saying, I just love how you're just yourself. I just love seeing you be yourself. You're extremely loud, vivacious, and fun, and beautiful, and red hair. And that moment freed me.
Wow.
Because I said, from now on, I don't care what anybody else looks like. I don't care what the status quo, what all that is. I'm literally going to be myself. So I started to put my hats on, and I started to take those suits off. I started to wear my leather bomber jackets and my ripped jeans. And I know that there's a time and a place for everything. But I am the time and the place. Wherever I go becomes the time and the place, because I'm there. So when I walk in a room, I am me. So that's what I want people to actually be able to experience, because I've done myself a disservice and God a disservice to walk in a room of zombies and be one.
Oh my goodness, I love that.
Yeah, so I just remember walking and seeing these rooms, and everybody felt like a zombie. It felt like everybody was a zombie. Everybody said the same thing. Everybody looked the same way. Everybody talked alike.
Wow.
Everybody operated the exact same. And I said, this doesn't look free. I left and my shoulders were tense. My head was hurting. Everything just felt awkward.
Yeah.
And so
wow,
that moment really freed me up. And now when I go to events, I can literally be myself. I can walk in how I want to walk in. And actually what I did realize is that people started to draw to me more when I was being myself than when I was being in the crowd. How are you able to be noticed in a crowd like that and you're like everyone else?
You're like everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good, because I know and this is totally off topic, but there are some people who say, I hate going to networking events because of exactly what you just described. But in the way you just said, all that, how you got your confidence, that says a lot.
Well, thank you.
I am blown away. I'm over here mentally taking notes, because that's something that I needed to hear. And I'm pretty sure many of our listeners needed to hear that. Wow. It's okay to just be yourself.
Just be yourself and be free, because God's not a dumb God. He didn't create us to all be like one another. He didn't create, it's not a redundant situation. He didn't say, make a Jason. Make another Jason. Let there be a Jason. Let there be a you. Let there be a me. Like, all of us have different purposes, and we're different people. Because God's an intelligent God. He's so smart.
A very intelligent being, and a very big, awesome God.
I don't believe that God has called us to do what has been done. I believe that He's called us to do what has not been done. So,
I agree.
If I walk in a room of people that are all doing the same thing, I have to make sure that I show them what God really is, and He's not in a box, and He's not like everybody else.
Woo!
That's what I love about you, is because no matter, I've seen you several times, and each time I see you, just like you are the same person in each environment.
Wow.
And you're always very approachable.
Well, thank you.
That is big. That actually goes into our next question, because you share so much of who you are on social media. You're quick to go on a live, and you very much engage with your followers. You're very much engaged with your clients. It's like they become family to you. But every time we've encountered you, the person you are online is the same man that you are when we meet you in person. And that says a lot about an individual. But with social media, you've also shared a lot of your testimonies and how God has taken you from literally nothing, this young boy from country boy from Alabama to be.
I'm from Mississippi.
I'm sorry, Mississippi.
Right by each other.
Sorry,
that's fine.
Mississippi.
I claim my Alabama people too.
Mississippi.
But Johnny's from Alabama. My agent is from Alabama.
That's where I'm getting confused.
So you see the Alabama pop up on your phone.
Yes.
But that's Johnny, who's been an amazing person in my career, so thank you for your compliment.
That actually says a lot about your team too, because your team, phenomenal. Like working with them during the conference, they were just so on it, and they don't do text messages, they do phone calls, and I love that.
Which is rare now.
It's so rare.
To email or text message. I won't return your phone call,
I literally have angels. Like, I have some hard-working angels around here that I feel like are God sent, and they really help me.
Absolutely.
They help me so much.
He is amazing.
No, they help me so much, so all I can do is say thank you to him.
Well,
shout out to the J Bolin team. Love you guys.
Y'all, they are amazing. We're sitting here with our fancy. We are Fonse.
Hold on. Fonse with our J Bolin water.
Oh,
okay.
He's into water too now.
J Bolin water.
He's into shoes.
Y'all are so hilarious.
He got some J Bolin water. What the men say? What the J Bolin men say?
They're coming. They're coming.
Pass them around.
They're coming.
So tell us a little bit about this journey of how you started from little man in Mississippi to this big man here in Dallas, Texas, doing the dang thing, killing it here.
Wow.
Not even just killing it here, because you like global, so you killing it everywhere. International.
Everybody knows J Bolin.
All I can say is,
and every time you turn on TV, J Bolin, J Bolin.
Listen,
I'm like, okay.
Yo, that's nothing but the grace of God, for real. I am a small town country boy from Mississippi who my wife actually found who I was. So this was my wife going to ask.com. Not Google, because Google wasn't even out then. It was ask.com. She went to ask.com and she said, you know what? You're really good at putting like my clothes together, but I think people get paid to do it. So she went online and saw that they were called image consultants. And so I started researching more, and I went to Barnes & Noble and got my degree in fashion from there. And we both know they don't offer degrees, but that's where I went to get my degree in fashion.
Come on, Barnes & Noble degree.
Right.
Come
I went
on.
to get my degree at Barnes & Noble.
Come through. Yes.
And I had to sit in there and read those books and study more and more and more. And I don't understand why I was like, even as I have this conversation with y'all now, why was I in Mississippi and was told by my wife that I was good at something, and it made me determined enough to go to Barnes & Noble and study daily. For what? When I didn't see anything like that around me.
The helpmate that he said he'll send you.
Pray, come on for the helpmate. Yes.
My wife is definitely a helpmate.
Yes.
She and my son they're cheerleaders, boy. They're at home rooting me on daily.
So she pushed you.
She pushed me.
She saw that.
Yeah.
She foresaw it.
She pushed me into that, and I got into it, and I eventually ended up leaving my job. I left Nissan plant and started working for.
What'd you do at Nissan?
I have a degree in engineering and robotics. So
he was gonna make money regardless.
Stop.
Your family wasn't worried about you.
No. So I went through a program at Alcorn State University called Industrial Technology and Advanced Technology.
Intelligent.
Y'all are so hilarious. I just love you guys. All the compliments are making me blush over here.
Stop.
So I have those degrees, but honestly, I was the most insecure person in the world getting those degrees because I didn't even know and unsure of what I even want to do in life, period. I did that because it was a tradition in my family to major in those fields. There was also a tradition in my family to work at Nissan plant as a man or to go and work for someone else. And so I didn't even realize what an entrepreneur was. You know what I mean? I didn't have any background of it. Really, my grandfather and my grandmother owned a store, but I never got a chance to really experience the entrepreneurial side of it as a child. Wow. So I was working at Nissan, then I left Nissan and started working at Tougaloo College as a financial aid counselor. And
what a transition.
What in the world?
So you was trying to help people find money.
The world?
But you good at helping people find money
I was good.
too.
Listen, I was the guy who made sure that you had your refund check on time.
Can you help us find
I was
some money?
that guy.
Oh yes, let it come by the speed of the spirit.
Help you find money, right? Well, that's a good point. So you never know the journey God will put you on. So helping to research and find money, which is what I'm still having to do today for my own company. Make sure you find money.
See, and that's the thing.
Connecting the dots of God's journey.
Ooh, amen. Connecting the dots of God's journey.
Yes.
That is huge.
Hanging out with Jay and they lead to the pot of gold.
I tell people all the time, your past is part of your purpose.
Oh, I love that.
Do not be ashamed or do not think that every little thing that God has taken you through in your past is not going to somehow come up in your future. Because like you just said, you were helping people find money then, and you got to help yourself find money now.
Find money now and other people.
Wait a minute,
so
money comes to you though.
Money, it comes, but I have to work hard. That's a biblical. I have to work hard.
That's for these. Feel like
listen, there's no way around it. That's a biblical principle.
Yes.
You know, like you have to work hard.
Say that for the lazy people.
You have to work. You literally.
I'm gonna open me a fashion line.
Listen, and guess what? Here's the thing. The beautiful thing about it is that they can, but only a few. It's your mindset. But there will be only a few who actually survive it. You can work it, but will you survive in it?
Wow.
A lot of people can start it. So I never deny a person when they say, or look at a person crazy when they say they want to do something. You can want to do it and you can actually start it, but will you be able to finish the destiny?
Wow.
That in itself, because a lot of the times people will say, where did you go to school? They don't say, did you graduate?
Did you graduate? Yeah.
Where you go to school?
That's very true. People don't ask, did you graduate?
No. They don't.
Well, listen, I have a degree.
He graduated.
I graduated, and I didn't use it at all.
He can spell Mississippi without the quicken letter.
So I have a degree in programming robots, clearly, and now I'm not programming robots. I'm programming clients.
He's not programming robots.
I am literally.
He's changing.
I am
transforming.
Transforming.
But if he wanted to make you a robot, he could do it.
But we have models for that. Models will do everything you tell them to do in the fabulous clothing. So I love working with my clients. So when I say program, they literally listen to me, because what I'm speaking literally doesn't come from me. It comes truly from God. So whatever it is for them is almost like it's clothing. It's prophetic for clothing. So I'm actually able to tell them what they should look like for a moment that's going to happen for them, or what's going to make that moment happen.
Ooh, Jay. Okay.
This is all from God. This ain't nothing.
This right here about to have me speaking in tongues.
No, this is literally all.
Let me tell you a little story. So, Lord, this is so amazing. I love how we always in our Dish and Dine podcast, we are so free flowing and just let the Lord do what He want to do.
Yes, absolutely.
A few years ago, I used to have a YouTube show called Dialogue, and I remember I had actually reached out to you to be on the show, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. But timing and how God does things is everything.
Because 3 years ago was when I was first moving to Dallas, Texas, and I was literally at rock bottom.
What?
I was at rock bottom when I first moved to Dallas, Texas.
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Absolutely. So when I was living in Mississippi, of course, my business was doing okay. I'm traveling the world and I'm working, and you're almost working at nothing. And you're almost working in cycles and in circles because you don't even know business. So I knew that I was a creative, but a creative with no business plan it's going to be a broke journey. And so I kept going in cycles with that. And when I moved to Dallas, I begged my wife. I was like, please, let's just move to Dallas. I said, that way I can be at home more. I don't have to travel from Mississippi across the world. I could travel to come home the same day. So I was like, all right, I'm going to trust this. We're going to try it. And so my dad and my mom brought us out here. We went looking around everywhere around the city. And because we actually got evicted out of a home in Mississippi, that was on our record, so we never could move into any apartments here. So everywhere we went, they told us no. And we got evicted because we couldn't afford it. So at that time, this was rewind, being going homeless in Mississippi in the midst of me taking this journey of fashion, losing my job. My wife didn't have a job, losing our home, losing my wife's car. And I didn't want to tell my in-laws. That's my wife. I was supposed to take care of my wife. So I felt like people would look down on me if I told them that. And then I didn't want to tell my parents because I felt like it was going to be the I told you so. You should have stayed at that other job like I told you. And so my wife and I, then we ended up losing the second car, which was our last vehicle. So both cars got repoed and taken completely away from us. And then everything that we had in storage, we couldn't afford to pay for storage. So we watched everything we worked for get auctioned away in front of us. So literally everything was taken away from us. And then we found out that my wife was pregnant with my son. So not only am I at ground zero then for real, but then every day I would always think about how am I going to supply for a child when I can't even supply for myself right now. So we had nothing, period. Fast forward, we ended up moving here, and my dad ended up allowing me to borrow $1,200. My dad said, here's your $1,200. He was like, this is going to help you get into this house. Now, if you get into this house, this was the first home I moved in here in Dallas, and luckily my client was so gracious. It was one of my clients, a client that had been researching me online and said that she wanted to work with me. And then when I told her that I was looking to move here and I couldn't find any place, she was like, I have houses. Not one house, but I have homes. I do contracting. I rent homes. And she allowed me to get in that home. And I got in a house with not even an application. She was just like, you're my stylist, and it'll be fine. Yeah. And so
testimonies.
Like, I'm literally being as transparent as possible right now. This is the first time I've ever shared this much detail. But I feel like it will definitely help free somebody that's out there who maybe...
I am literally... Because in a social media, you can make pictures look any kind of way that you want them to look, and like your life is just fabulous. And for you to share that, because there's so many people that are a paycheck away. From being evicted.
Yeah.
And whether I can eat, so for you to share that.
Girl, it was a mini day where we drunk water to fill our bellies up because we didn't have food to eat. So we would fill ourselves up with water at night to make sure that we were full and could sleep well for the next day.
Wow.
So my dad ended up giving us money, and he was like, I knew you weren't going to give me the money back. He was like, I knew you didn't have it to give it back. And so my mom kept saying, I don't know how you're going to afford it. How in the world are you going to afford it when we're having to loan you money? And that's realistic, right? Like, how are you going to afford it? And how do you continue to invest and pour into someone who has a record or a past of the up and down a roller coaster of not winning, but there's some major failures. So why do you continue to give to someone that's continuing to go in a cycle? But at this time, I had made up my mind. My mindset had changed, which was the difference. And it's hard to prove that to anybody. But God showed me a little grace and a little mercy. And with that grace and mercy, my dad gave me that money. I got into this house, and I came out here, and I literally went into work mode. And I started working with clients here as much as possible. I started serving people. Didn't mind being a servant. I started to promote. I had to be my own publicist. I had to be my own branding strategist. I had to be my own everything. And I could not afford clothing, period, for myself. So when people would like laugh or would ask me, like, why do you always have on the same thing? It's because what you don't know is that every dime that I do get, I'm putting it back into my own company because I can't afford to buy the clothes to impress you. But what I will do is make sure that I invest into my future so that my child, I can impress my child. That's what that means more to me than anything, to make sure that my son is smiling, that he's happy, he gets all the things that he wants. And my wife too, because she sacrificed a lot in timing, a lot as a wife, period. You know what I mean? Over the years of pushing me to my destiny, as I was doing the exact same thing for her, but she literally was sacrificed to say, you go get it, because you have something extremely special on you.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
And so here we are from ground zero of not having anything in Mississippi to moving to Dallas with borrowing $1,200, and 3.5 years later have an office of styling, of a creative agency, and have 6 employees on payroll. So now I don't even have to borrow money from people. I am actually able to pay people that are making a living by working with me or working with my team. And
he's a blessing. You just give back to so many people.
You're
always blessing people.
Always.
But to hear the humble beginnings and the struggle, and that's the thing. I mean, your struggle and perseverance and your praise of God. You know, that's.
Let me tell you, when you get stripped of everything, ain't nobody you can give praise to. And I remember hearing God literally say to me once before is that if you don't do what I called you to do, I will take everything from you. If you don't do what I called you to do, I will take everything from you. And I was sitting in a room of queens and kings, literally in a room of kings and queens. And I heard this voice. It was like everything in the room froze on me. And I heard that voice. And it scared me half to death. It's like, wait a minute, you're going to take everything? Because I'd already had everything taken once before. It's that, but when you get where I want you to be, the only reason why I had to strip you of everything that you had is because all of that stuff was man-made and man-given. But when you get to where you're going to get to, I'm the only person that you're going to be able to give praise to. I want to make sure that you don't get it twisted and that you don't think that you have to give praise to somebody else for putting you on.
Come on, somebody.
You don't have to give praise to that. So God literally gave me clarity in that. There's only one person who has really changed the game, and his name was Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
I hear the organs playing. I'm doing my organs dance.
You doing your dance.
My little feet
Listen, I've been
tapping.
trying to dance for years. I don't know how to dance.
Me either.
I've been trying to do it.
You don't know how to dance?
Girl, I can't dance for nothing.
Oh, we're going to have to put on the African music
Yeah.
and tell them how to shake and
so
how
no,
to...
that part I can dance.
He said he can't.
Okay.
I can't do the Holy Ghost dance.
dance.
Oh,
That
sorry.
one right there, I can't do.
Sorry.
See.
Sorry. Look, I was like, I thought you just meant all dancing,
listen,
period.
But the African dancing, when they're coming into the room after like a wedding reception, the dancing and the energy behind that, I found that to be so freaking amazing.
It is the
The
greatest.
energy is
God.
insane.
You feel like you in, what was that, the Coming to America? You feel
Coming
like
to
you're
America. Listen,
That's how I feel every time I'm around her African side of the family.
Oh, I love it.
We sit back and be like, let's watch and see what's going to happen today.
OMG.
But Jessica.
Jay, I really want to ask you, when are
Yes.
you going to finish your book?
Whew. I feel like I'm still writing my book daily. I do. I feel like I'm writing my book daily. I feel like the book that's coming is going to be a great one. But I feel like every day it's something else. It's like, okay, God, what are you teaching me today? Because I don't feel like it. I don't want to
I
do
don't
this
want this lesson today.
Yeah, I don't want this lesson today. I don't feel like it today. And
I feel
actually
like
asked that
we got
online.
like 3 books just in everything we've been talking about in this moment. Like, seriously,
Wow.
you've dropped so much, just your story, how
You
you're...
can write a book on compassion.
Mhm.
Yo, honestly, I'll be honest with you. So in the back earlier, we had this whole fear talk. And so I said, I'm going to get on the dry eraser board, and I'm going to write with a dry eraser marker that's temporary. Our fears, all of our fears, we're going to name them out one by one. And when we get done, we're going to wipe them off with the eraser, because that's what God wants us to do, is be free from that. So we went one by one to dissect what those fears are. And I think the fear may be, for the book, talking to you about it now, there could possibly be a fear, J. Bolin, that you're not putting this book out because you're thinking that no one will actually support or buy the book. Like, who wants to hear your story? And that's just a common fear. And I really have to be as vulnerable as possible to say that we still fear it. No matter how many big names, how many people you work with,
It's true.
you still long for, or still wonder, not even long for, but you still wonder, do people like my brand? Do people like this? Like, because I'm in a market and in a business of people need to like in order to purchase, or people need to like in order to,
That's
to
real.
buy.
That's
a book
real.
needs to be purchased, okay?
Yes, y'all
I'm
make
gonna
sure
write a
y'all
book.
purchase that book
Listen,
when it comes out, because I'm
purchase the
sure
book, people.
it's going to come out, and I know y'all going to purchase it.
It'll be
Well,
a
you just
bestseller.
and
New
so-
York Times bestseller.
Bestseller.
Come on.
So guess what? You guys may have just freed me. So this show is more than just hearing about me, but maybe you guys have just freed me on my fear. So the book just may come into fruition sooner than I thought.
Hallelujah.
Confidence, that's definitely what this is about.
Okay, confidence.
And this is your support system. Confidence also comes from your support system. So I'm surrounded around encouraging people that are helping me to see myself in a different way right in this very moment.
Aw.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
love you, seriously.
We do. We really love you.
Love you guys more. I
wanted to scream, but that was going to be really loud. Really loud. Okay, so we've continued with confidence.
Yes.
We've talked a lot about freedom and also wiping away this fear, which I love that you did that with your team. That's so beautiful. But in many ways, you're transforming the lives of so many individuals. So how have you seen your work change the way your audience and clients see themselves?
Honestly, I think that the work makes, I don't know how, I don't even understand sometimes the moments that have happened, right? So I will see a client and I'll see the photo and I'll go back and look at it and I'll see the interaction of it, and I'll see how people started to book people and people started to interact with them more. And it's kind of like, I don't have that power. That's automatically when we think we don't have no power at all. But then I really have to realize is that God has given us power. And that power is of passing on the torch of influence. the influence of not only influencing people just for your own vain sake, but influencing people to build the kingdom. So sometimes the clothing is literally just a bait. It's bait that draws people to you. So if I'm dressing somebody and it draws a person to them, it helps them, number one. It helps them with their business. It helps the person draw it. That outfit up there on the mannequin right now,
which I love.
Thank you so much. I can't take any credit for that beautiful outfit. We have a J. Bolin confidential student that's here today.
God.
Oh,
Yeah.
love it. You training them up.
Yeah, we do one-on-one classes with people as well. So I normally host the J. Bolin boot camps, which is maybe like 35, 50 people.
Which we're going to come to.
Yes. Oh my God. To have you two in the building, all this energy.
I'm serious. I think we would be so good because you're such an inspiration, and what you teach is something that we can take. I'm going to back up.
Everybody says that everyone wants to come to the fashion styling boot camps because they said that they feel that they can
so much
get
more.
other things from it.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, confidence, like
that's the number one thing that I'm seeing that people are taking away.
Yeah,
from that.
It. Yeah,
I'm a firm believer that your gifts will make room for you, and what you pull out of people and are giving to people is their ability to enhance their gifts. I mean, it's opening so many doors.
Yeah,
is what I see.
And I mean, I'll just say this: like, I don't think, we can go out, we can put on nice makeup and put on clothes, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have confidence. Anybody can throw on a good outfit. Anybody can have a beat face, but
now that's the truth.
Yes.
So I am continually letting the client know how amazing they are, and it's not false. I'm literally just telling them what the word says about them and breaking it down to them, and a brother to sister kind of talk. It's not me talking necessarily about God all the time. But I can actually speak the word without actually having to beat the word into somebody. You know what I mean? Like, I really mean that. Like, helping people see themselves through the eyes of God, the way that God sees them.
Your clients shine. There is truly something about these men and women when you style them, and it's what you just said. You are constantly giving them the word and telling them who they are. And if you've never received that before, when you don't know who you are, you lack that confidence. You don't have that confidence. But it could also be the woman that just had a child. I know for me, I'm at a size where I'm like, okay, I have never seen myself this size before. So the way I looked 2 or 3 years ago in an outfit, I'm not having the same confidence that I had at that time. It's different. It's different. But you have the ability to bring something else out, to help that woman who just had a child begin to appreciate who she is as a mother versus who she was when she was just the young woman.
Yeah, because I am not a mirror. So I'm not going to show you what you used to be. I'm only going to see the beauty right now.
Wow.
So when I see and work with a client, I only see where they are now and where they're going. Like I dress people for something that's happening in the future. I don't dress you just for this moment where you take off your clothes right this moment. I dress you for something greater than that moment.
And that's what I see. It is a transformation. And what we see with your clients is a process, and it's developed just from glory to glory is how I would explain it. But
from glory to glory. Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah. I like that, from glory.
And I think with the confidence that you build in people, it sets us on a precedence to just keep going forward, which is another reason I love watching your journey. And as I said before, your gifts make room for you. And when I see you doing what you do, and I don't mean to be all religious, but I do see the Father looking at you going, okay, Jade, let me see what you're going to do next. Because you're utilizing the gifts.
Book, speaking engagements.
So funny, this is another story that relates to that. And I had a friend that brought that. I have some really great friends.
You need that.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that we don't talk all the time, but they know when something is wrong. They know when something is needed. And so This was right after I got done styling for the American Music Awards. And I was ready for this huge moment. I kept saying, just this huge moment is going to happen. It's so amazing. Like, this is my moment. And I was really looking for a false hope. I was looking for what everybody else in the world told me was a moment. And that's not a moment. I live daily. I live daily moments out.
Oh, say that again.
I live daily moments out.
Yes.
So every day that I have breath in my body and I'm living, that's purpose. So I have to get up and go get it. But that night, all my friends that are in the market went and celebrated. I went back to my Airbnb and I cried like a baby. I have no idea why. When I say no idea why I was crying. Like, I was like, what is wrong with me? I felt so cloudy. My team was like, what's wrong? Like, what happened? Like, you just styled like a major celebrity. I don't know what's wrong. That next morning I woke up and my friend was like, hey, you're on my mind. Really heavy. And I just wanted to see what was wrong with you. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for calling me.
Wow.
It's like, I really needed to talk, and I didn't know who I could talk to about this. And I said, I'm really feeling like I didn't have my moment. And she was like, oh. She was like, that wasn't a real moment. She was like, I need you to know that you're called for a lifetime and you're looking for a moment. She said, you're looking for a lifetime and you're looking for a moment and you've been called to a lifetime. Tears started to literally roll down my face. And she said, and also, what if God had to do this to keep you humble and keep you close to him? Because everybody else that he's given these opportunities has left him. And you are on assignment. You are on assignment
right now. I want to scream because wow.
That you are on assignment and you're not called to be like everybody else. Stop looking for a moment and start working for a lifetime.
Yes. That one moment that everybody is looking for. But it is truly a lifetime. The assignment never stops.
The assignment never stops.
You have to let that sink in because so many people, everybody is looking for that moment. Some people wait a lifetime. You know, I gotta sing for a moment like this. But it's a lifetime.
It is.
It's not just a moment. And I had to breathe.
I know, right? Like we all have to take it in. I had to literally stop and take it in, but it was a relief for me. Like I was released. I felt like I had let the biggest cloud and burden go ever, just to know that God is God. Because I had forgot that God was God. I had forgot that God was God. So in a moment that I am on assignment to give confidence was one of my most insecure moments.
Wow.
And I had to remember, stay close to God. That's where the real confidence. Some people talk about, oh, I got my support system, I got my circle, my crew. Yes, it's definitely important to have that here. But the real support system is God. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit.
Okay.
Well, that actually goes into our next thing, which is what are some ways that we can remain confident or get that confidence? Because some of us have the confidence, some don't. How do we get it? How do we keep it? How do we take it up a notch?
Listen, some people have confidence that I had never seen before. I never met when I moved here. It was like, Big Dallas. You know what I mean? That's when I met. And I was like, these women are like, woo. They are confident. Where I come from.
Was it real confidence,
Wait
though?
a minute, say that again.
Was it real?
Say that again. So you take Dallas women.
Yeah, Dallas women were confident when I moved out here. I was like, oh, it's going to take some breaking down. So what I had to do
We got to stomp on that one.
What I had to do is that because when I dug a little deeper with a lot of the people here, they were really screaming out for something greater that was way bigger than the city.
Oh my goodness.
Way bigger than their environment right now. They were screaming for something bigger. Their souls were screaming for something bigger. But it's really hard to release that or to say that when you're surrounded around everybody else that is the exact same way.
Oh my gosh.
it's really difficult to do that. Like,
it's so refreshing.
No, who's gonna be the one to stand out? Who's gonna be the one to stand out? So I started to call them out. I started to say, I don't like these labels. They're taking over you. I started telling them the truth. I don't like when you do this. Why do you do this? Why do you wear your hair like this? Why don't you do this? Oh, you do this for them? Oh, this is what everybody else is doing? Like, can we just do this for you?
Oh my God.
So when people start doing stuff for themselves, I start identifying yourself and start giving yourself daily affirmations. Like, I'm bad. I'm a bad chick. I'm a bad man. I'm a bad chick.
I'm a bad chick.
You gotta say it. You know
I'm a bad chick. Yeah, I got a little bit of hood with it.
Listen, that's fine. That's completely fine, because sometimes you have to get hood with the enemy, because the enemy will make you feel like you are not worthy to be a bad chick.
Sometimes you gotta get hood with the enemy.
The enemy will make you feel like in the morning time. Sometimes like when you wake up in the morning time, you have to realize that's like one of your most vulnerable times. So you're waking up to a new day, not sure what's gonna happen, and so the enemy has, that's his little time to kind of sneak in and say, oh, your day is not gonna be good. You're gonna get a bad phone call that'll mess you up. You're gonna get this. Oh my God, you've gained a little weight. Oh my God, you don't look like you used to look. If you don't hurry up, someone else is going to come and take your spot. Or don't keep training those people, because they're all going to come and take your spot. And then you're going to be old news. That's what the enemy tells you. And I had to look at myself and tell myself exactly what God thinks about me. And then sometimes it ain't even what God thinks about me. Sometimes I just get in the mirror and be like, I am so cold-blooded with it.
Yes. Jay.
I'm so cold-blooded with it. And I have to say that to myself just to literally build my own confidence. Because sometimes, and y'all know, like I know, sometimes the word will say the word, and sometimes it'll just kind of like, oh, I've heard that my whole life, so it feels a little cliche. So it's like, okay, I got to get a little ratchet with it.
Right.
So you say exactly what you need to say to build yourself up and to build your confidence up. But don't forget to continue to speak the word of yourself, because the word may not work for you in the natural, but it's definitely working for you spiritually, because it's only what you say that'll make everything that's not right around you flee.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the power of our words, just like you said, you're getting there saying it, I am. And like you said, we hear these things in the cliches and the scriptures so much that we almost really don't, because it's just almost like cliche.
Yeah.
Like we don't think it's real. And when he says that we are made in his image, and I mean, like you said, I am all that.
Yeah.
And we forget that that's how he spoke, which is why a lot of people, I am that I am.
I am that I am.
I am. So, and you have
and then when God's like, we're a product of God.
Okay. You have to remember.
My assistant stylist and very good friend Kayla and I were talking back earlier. She was like, my fear is to continually be the underdog. And I was like, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as an underdog, period. No person is better than the next person. Everybody is on their individual journey. So this false thing that a man somewhere has given the thought to other people to make themselves feel superior over other people has let people know you need to stay on board, or else you'll be an underdog if you don't catch up. And there's no such thing as being an underdog. Everybody is on their own journey. Your delay is not a denial.
Man.
Yeah.
If we could just see that. And I think we get caught up in looking at other people's lives that we miss the blessings that we have in our own lives.
Oh, yes. That is the truth.
Before we realize it, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I had that, but we're too busy trying to, as you said, be like everybody
Listen,
else.
It's very easy though. It's very easy because we're in a visual world right now. We're on social media. All we have to do is scroll to see everybody else's life. That's all we have to do is literally move our index finger up and down.
So what would you say to that person that is looking at social media and getting in their feelings and looking at somebody and saying, oh, I'm not as pretty as that person, or I don't have the clothes that this person has, or the shoe,
And that's a great question, Mom, because social media can make you lose your confidence. You'll be feeling so confident, and then you look at the next person and be like, oh my God, I thought I had it together, but I don't.
It's a confidence booster for me, because what I've done is I've flipped the mentality of making sure that I catch up to people, or making sure that I'm like somebody else, or like I'm behind. And I've taken social media and I look at other people's pages and I make it inspire me. Like, I literally look at other people's pages now and I get inspired. Like, I don't look at a trainer and be like, man, I wish I had a six-pack. Ooh, one day I'm gonna get a six-pack. It's like, no, I look at it like,
I'm gonna do something.
Six-packs are available. Let me go and get one. Go to change my eating habits.
That's right. That's the right kind of mindset to have.
That's the mindset.
Yes, that is the right mindset to have. How am I going to get that? How am I going to change my eating habits? How am I going to change my mindset? Let me go get mine.
Better yourself.
Better yourself.
Wow.
Better yourself. Don't look at it as though it's a hindrance because somebody else is living their best life. Or living potential to their best life on social media.
Oh yeah, because everybody living their best life on social media.
Yeah, just be your best self and continue to make sure that you are continuing to pour the word into yourself, pour those daily affirmations into yourself. Because if you flip your phone open before you do those things in the morning time, then you're opening yourself up to that world of not being confident and being bitter and being jealous, because you started your day out that way.
Do your affirmations before you go on social media.
Affirmations have been a big part of getting this confidence, y'all.
Yes.
Y'all make sure you do it. Affirmations, speaking the word of God over yourself. But when you use social media, because I know a lot of you do, ensure that you are using it for inspiration. Inspiration.
I like that. That's a good answer.
And I also want to add too, wipe away fears. Because I keep going back to that, what you did with your team. Wipe away the fears. And if that means that you actually have to go into your journal and write down every single fear, or everything that may be holding you back from doing what God has called you to do, and then get an eraser or just actually scratch it out, mark a line through it, wipe away the fears.
Yeah, make sure that it's not permanent. Make sure that it's not a permanent marker. And even if you do it with a pen or a permanent marker, if you do decide to do it that way, then make sure that you burn it. Make sure that you shred it. Shredding is not even good enough, actually.
Burn it.
Because it's still kind of in existence.
Burn it.
And it's more of you actually taking an action. It's a call to action. You know, that call to action is actually, I'm going to burn that. I'm going to wipe that away with a dry eraser. You know what I mean? Do something that implies and let the enemy know that this is real deal, baby.
It's the real deal.
Yeah, it's time to go get it. And it's also letting God know that I've taken out the time to dissect everything that has held me back from being what you've called me to be. And when God sees that you're serious, that's when the doors start to open up for that next level.
Yes.
Wow. Get that mindset right.
Yes. Get the mindset
stop listening
right.
to the father of lies, because that's what he is, the father of lies, and telling you you're not good enough, you're not cute, and you know.
Listen, I've heard it all. The enemy has whispered so many lies in my ear. It's ridiculous, okay?
Wow.
It's ridiculous, but all the problems that we see, all of the situations, all the fears, all that is an illusion. It's just an illusion.
Yeah.
I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about problems. I was like, think about it. It's an illusion. So if the devil comes up right now and puts a mouse on the floor in front of you, it's to scare you. And God's on the other side of that mouse like, oh, just walk around that mouse. That's fake. That ain't even real. Like, I got you. I'm gonna we'll pick the mouse up and throw it in the trash can. But we see it and we get shook and get scared. We're like, oh my God, it's a mouse. What do I do? You know what I mean? That's the way the enemy makes us look at our problems. And most of the times we're scared to have problems or scared to face a problem. But face it. Facing yourself is also something that will hold you back from that true confidence. Facing yourself. Facing yourself and knowing that I was ruined as a child. I was ruined mentally as a child in that moment. But I've recovered from that. You know what I mean? Like, I was ruined because of this marriage that I was in. But I've recovered from that. You know what I mean? Like, all those things that affect people in life. Like, these are things that you literally have to be able to speak out and let God, no, I'm aware of what happened, and I'm calling it out right now. That I don't want to deal with that, so I will denounce it every single time it comes up, because I've said it and I've faced myself. If you can face yourself, you can face anybody else in the world.
Wow.
Okay.
If you face yourself, you can face anything and anybody in the world.
Yeah.
But most people make you feel small and like you're nothing, because they want to magnify your problems and magnify your weaknesses, so that their strengths are exposed and their strengths are almighty.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But it's nothing like seeing a strong, quote unquote, person facing themselves. Because and I've had to face myself. I had a moment where I'm always the strong one. I was always the strong one. They always tell me that when people cry around me, I'm kind of like, oh, you okay? You know? And deep down inside, I'm hurting for that person, but I've been taught to not show emotion. I've always been taught not to show emotion. You're a man, don't show emotion. You know what I mean? And so during Essence Fest, something extremely drastic happened. The night before Essence, this was my crazy time to hop on stage, a moment I have been working for forever, to get on stage at Essence Fest and live my best life, okay? And I was sleeping in the room, and I got the call, and I was like, how am I going to deal with tomorrow? How am I going to face and get on stage to tell other people about being great and looking fabulous, and I feel like crap on the inside? And so I hit this stage, and when I got off stage, God said, you did well. And your weakness was my time to be your strength. And it was okay for me to literally be weak. In the most glorious time that I felt like in my career was happening, God's like, I need you to be weak. I need you to be strong enough to be weak.
Yeah.
So that I can show you what real strength is.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's also a part of confidence.
That's a part. Let me tell you. Then that confidence came because my confidence started to become in God. I started to look at like, that's who got me this. That's who got me that. That's who's going to get me through that door. Because when I start having too much confidence in myself, it starts to feel like a whole little ego situation. I'm prideful. Yeah, I start getting in the way.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like when I know God's in control, it's like, oh, God got that.
It's a lot easier.
It's a lot easier to know that it's in God's hands. A gentleman was here yesterday, multimillionaire, in the building. First of all, that sounds crazy for me to even be surrounded around a multimillionaire that was in the building. And I said, what's the best advice that you can give me about being an entrepreneur? And he said, to give your business to God.
Wow.
I said, now listen, I've had business advice from the top of the tops in the market all the way down. I said, but that is hands down the best advice I've ever been given.
Amen.
And he said, but here's the catch to it. You can't take it back from him. He said, if you give it to him, you can't go back and grab it because you don't see what he's doing with your business. You don't see the progress and you don't see the process. It was like God is working when you're not working. And he's working when you're working.
All the time.
So if I'm working and I'm bad and God working,
just imagine
that's that
how
confidence.
bad
You know
you're
what's
gonna
about to. That's when I say you should tell yourself, I'm a bad chick. I'm a bad man. This is just what we do because we come from a king.
Royalty.
I'm always singing.
I'm a singer too. I'm surprised I have not sung.
Go ahead. We was busting out with the Temptations the last
we
time.
bust out with it all the time.
All the time.
But we forget that. And you were playing Molly music
earlier, yeah.
And I love a line in his song that says, if you knew you had it all already, would you be out there doing the things that we do for paper if we knew who we are already? You know, so
we can't even handle it.
We couldn't handle it.
Listen, let me tell you. So another fear was that I wrote on the board was being afraid of the next level.
Yeah.
I literally asked for the next level from God, and I had 3 national television show appearances, major moments, and did not take it. I canceled it. I booked it, and I called and I canceled it. Because I was so afraid, my anxiety went through the roof. I was so afraid.
Wait a minute, really?
I said, I'm not worthy. I am not worthy of being on that. That's what I kept telling myself. How are you going to do this? You're not worthy of
Well,
being.
I hope after doing this, you definitely going to pick up that phone and call them back. Call
right?
back because you're ready for it. You are more than ready for it. More than ready.
I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. So that moment happened, and that was that next level. And it was because I got a glimpse of my future. So I couldn't even handle it. I couldn't even handle a glimpse of my own future. Mm-hmm. Oh, it scared me half to death. So now I understand when God doesn't show it to me. It's kind of like, oh, you want to see a glimpse of your future, J. Bolin? Don't worry about it. I got you. Oh. And I saw it and was like, whoa, I can't do that. That ain't me. That's way bigger than me.
Oh my, we get in our own way.
I got in my own way.
I said that so many opportunities I self-sabotage, but it was all because of fear.
Because of fear.
Because of fear. Dang.
I feel like the biggest thing that we're taking away from this podcast
is to
wipe away the fear.
The fear.
Write your list down of fears. I challenge every listener to write down every single fear you have and to burn it or either wipe it away on a dry eraser board. Like literally write it down. And even if you need to dissect it, what brought that? Like when you say you don't want to be broke, what does that mean? I don't want to be broke. It's too vague. It's a really big subject line to say, I don't want to be broke. Say, well, how do you become broke? That you don't work. Because biblically it says that if you work, you eat.
Wow. So how did you become broke? How did you become overweight? How did you become this person who thought that you were ugly when you're really not?
When you're really not.
Yeah, and it's so many situations.
And it's not overweight; it's current weight.
Current. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a high five on that.
Yes. Transforming, helping us to see how we see ourselves different. Wow. Jay, that's amazing.
Jay, we could sit here and talk all day.
Really
Let me tell you, we could talk
amazing.
all day, but I know we don't have a lot of time. But I want to ask you this question. Last two questions for you. Okay. So, what has been the hardest part as you're on this mission to transform the lives of people through fashion? What has been like that hardest, toughest part for you?
Learning how to do business and having enough patience to continue to take out time for business because I'm a creative and I love just creating. Just let me tie somebody's shoestrings. Let me put this skirt with this top. That's all I want to do. But there's a business side of it that is so frustrating, and I'm trying to find like the love in it. It's like I'm trying to make myself love being a businessman, and I understand that in order for me to grow and in order for things to not go in cycles, I have to be a businessman. And that's something that I've never wanted to do. Talking numbers, talking with accountants, talking about tax IDs and all that kind of stuff. It's annoying. I hate it. I literally,
like you said,
it's time consuming, and I get anxiety even talking about any of it. I get it because that brings like a whole cloud of responsibility and accountability over you that you're like, wait, now, should I just go work for somebody?
We ain't there. We happy entrepreneurs. Clink, clink.
Listen. So I toasted that as well. But I have to admit, the thoughts that do come through your head, the thoughts that come through your head is to see someone else that goes to work so easy, and they go and they get a check, a guaranteed check, and they come home to their family by 5, 6 o'clock every day.
But they be miserable. They
gotta do what they have some of them. Some people are extremely happy. Like my sister said that she's not called for this world that I'm in. She's like, listen, I want to go and work for someone else. I want to get my check. I want to go home with my family. That's literally what she wants to do.
Yeah.
But I have a different assignment and a different purpose. But I can't say that sometimes I call her and be like, man, you living your best life at home. You get to go home at 5 or 6 o'clock every day.
I'm here till midnight.
I'm here till midnight. You know what I mean? Like there are some nights where I go home and I'm so heartbroken because I see my son sleep before I eat. And then he's awake before I even get up. And he's off to school. So I come home and sleep, and I wake up the next morning and he's gone off to school. And then I've learned now that I can't continue that process. I have to literally make time. I have to make that's the business side. The business side is managing your time. Because I wasn't managing my time, I was just managing everyone else's life and confidence and creativity, but I wasn't managing my own life. I'm managing my own family. So finding that balance, because my wife and I have the best relationship, my son and I have the best relationship, but I understand that takes work.
Yeah.
You know, for both of them. So I have to find time to manage to make sure that I'm at a basketball game of my son, that I'm at home just to have minutes of talk with him before he goes to bed. Even if I make it home 20 minutes before he goes to sleep.
Yeah.
We were able to discuss his day and what he can do better about tomorrow.
But you know what? You said something, balance. I think you actually creating that time to have balance with your family, although you kind of have this, oh God, I'm not really looking forward to the business part of this lifestyle that I live. But having balance brings confidence because you have peace of mind. I think you have a lot of peace of mind when you can think about in the back of your mind that, okay, I had a conversation with my son today. I made out time for his basketball game.
Yeah.
I think peace of mind definitely
that
brings.
peace of mind does bring confidence, for sure. Because when I know that my family's fulfilled, it makes me know that I have purpose in going to fulfill someone else's household. Because what I definitely do, for sure, is that I know that as a stylist that we literally change lives to the point where we make men look back at their wives again. We'll make the wives look back at their husbands again. So we're saving marriages, saving families.
Wow.
Like it's a really deep thing.
I didn't think about that.
I that just took that to a whole nother level, because lack of confidence can bring forth a lot of issues in your marriage.
Yeah.
It really can.
Yeah, and I think in any relationship, lack of confidence can take you out of here when it comes to your business, when it comes to your friendships.
Ooh, definitely friendships
You know what
as
I mean?
well.
Any relationship, period, any business relationship, that lack of confidence, like it's very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy. So having good balance, having a good support system,
Wiping away the fear.
wiping away the fears, making sure you get up write down your fears and then wipe them away.
Wipe them away.
Making sure that you're doing your daily affirmations and telling yourself every day, I'm a bad chick.
Yes.
I'm a bad man.
Yes. If you got to play, what's that? That's a bad chick. I'm a bad chick. I'm gonna set the other word, but we gotta keep it. We gotta keep it PG.
Bring it
yes.
back.
Woo. Yes. Holy Spirit.
That song is encouraging in its own way.
Yes.
That you're speaking of. So
yes.
On all things next level, I just encourage everyone to be your best self, and everything and everybody around you will have to catch up. So don't ever settle or feel like you doing or being your best person is going to make the next person feel less than, or it's going to make the people around you feel like they're not doing their best. These are not things that you need to worry about, but what you need to know is that you carry an influence, and it's up to you to shine, because when you shine, everybody around you will come and shine with you. Everybody that needs to, everybody that doesn't need to will flee away. And the ones that flee away will have that seed of shine that you actually gave them. And it'll develop at some point. It may not be right then, but it'll develop at some point. And you've done your assignment. Passing on the torch of greatness.
I love that. I love it.
Wow.
We just keep going back, because when you said about the light, about walking out and letting your light shine, there's a scripture that says a light is to be placed on a shelf where everybody can see it, and it provides light for everybody around it.
Wow.
Girl, what Bible verse is that?
That was good.
Yeah. The word of God be so good.
A light. You don't take a light and put it in a closet. You take that light out and you set it on a shelf.
Beautiful shelf, and just let it shine. Love that.
And that's what I'm saying about when I call you the spirit
Spirit changer.
That's what I see you doing is helping people to bring out that light so that they can shine, and then providing light for those around them. And that's what you do.
Because you know what? Think about this analogy. If you turn off the lights outside, then all of the bugs and all the little creatures are just going in circles. They just rip and run everywhere. But if you turn that light bulb on, they all draw to the light bulb. So you can go in a world of darkness and continue to let your light shine, and it'll draw people. It will draw people.
Dang, that's
Yo,
good.
this is so good. I actually had 2 more questions, but I just feel like it's best that we just keep it right here. You gave a recap of what all these listeners need in order to get their confidence up. And I love everything that you have told us, you know, writing your affirmations, wiping away the fears, ensuring that they are surrounding themselves with great people, and just so many wonderful things. And we're so grateful that you have joined us for the 2nd episode of the Dish and Dine Podcast.
I am so grateful. You have no idea, because actually sometimes speaking it out actually helps you to remember. So it's like me reiterating those things back to myself. So I've just had a whole session of daily affirmations that I forgot to do this morning.
What?
But I can go to sleep in peace now, knowing that I am a confident individual and I'm bad to the bone.
Oh,
and
that you are.
Yeah, and that God has us all covered, and it's my duty to continue to pass on the torch of greatness.
I have definitely been enlightened, and my spirit is enlightened and lifted every single time that I watch something that you do or watch a life transform. So thank you for what you do. Anybody that inspires confidence and instills confidence, I'm all about that, because we need that.
Wow, thank you.
We need that.
You know what this makes me think of? And I'm going to sing another song. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine,
it's not right.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Come on, harmonies, okay?
Did we do that?
We sure
I
did.
didn't wait coming at the
I came in at the end.
We was waiting.
It's like, let me catch my right note.
Oh, he like,
Yeah, let me catch my right note.
well, I'm happy you did that. Look, we throwing us all off, throwing the harmonies off and stuff.
Some people would catch that left note, and we done stop the song like.
Like you messed us up.
Like for real.
All right, well, everybody,
That was so great.
y'all, we want to thank y'all so much. Thank you again, Jay Bolin, for joining us on Dish and Dine Podcast. And thank you to all of our listeners. And also a big shout out to our sponsor again, Crudo.
Crudo Wood Fired Tavern, Frisco, Texas.
They're
Jay.
so fancy. Like, I'm just looking at the setup and all of the champagne and the wine, and it just looks so amazing.
Clink, clink,
Yeah.
clink, clink, clink.
Cheers to them.
Yes, we're about to eat this good food. And for those of you who actually would like to watch the video of all this good food and see this wonderful food from Crudo and actually watch the interview, you're more than welcome to do that,
And see
because
some of the amazing fashions at Jay Bolin.
yes.
Can't wait.
Y'all make sure y'all shop. Wait, by the way, where can we shop? Where can our listeners shop?
Listen, every listener is able to go, after you get done with your daily affirmations, pick up your phone before you go to social media and go to shopjbolin.com. If you go to shopjbolin.com, it's affordable pieces that are easy, it's effortless, and it's affordable, and all you have to do is grab these little fancy pieces. I've put the looks together already for you. They're hand chosen by myself as a stylist and as a style expert. So you can have these goodie boxes right in your home.
Yes.
If you see what I see right now, your eyeballs will pop out. This is like every little girl's dream.
Shopjbolin.com.
Could have spelled over his bomb.
And if you are in Dallas, Texas, y'all can actually come by. Give us the address.
1430 Regal Row.
1430 Regal Row.
Come by and see us. And this is not a boutique. This is a style agency. So we are equipped with fashion experts that will help you get in and out of your clothes and with suggestions on fashionable pieces.
Absolutely. Y'all, shouts out to celebrity stylist, Jay Bolin. Thank you again. Thank you so much again. Spirit changer.
Builder.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Boy,
Thank you so much.
Boy, hold up. Hold up. I was about to say something, because I know, like,
Should have told you to hold up like 500 times.
I know. I'm so sorry. Look, because I know. Look, yes. So Lisa Nichols, I know you love her, and I was gonna say, like,
Keisha Michelle just sent me a text today.
I was gonna say, I could just imagine, like, whenever I just said that, I could just imagine her giving him an introduction. That would be so awesome. Like, seriously,
I love it. Yeah,
spirit changer.
Yeah,
she has the best introductions ever. Yeah, she has the best introductions. I love her and I love Lisa. They both are the best. They sent me an inbox video one day and I literally passed out because I love Lisa Nichols. And I don't love her just because of all of the accolades and all the great things she's done, but her story and her determination to stick. Stick to it. She stuck to it.
Dude, it is so encouraging and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And like if you can follow the guidelines that she's given you just to keep going,
Lisa, we need a dinner table. We need to sit down at the dinner table.
Sit down at Dish and Dine. Yes, we got to get you.
That wisdom and that man.
All right, that's a person that I didn't even think we was gonna talk about her. But hey, Lisa, we got to get you on the show, sister. We got to get you. Y'all don't forget. Send in your questions for the Woman to Woman segment, Dish and Dine Podcast at gmail.com. Woman to Woman. But y'all.
This is, was it Brenda?
Yeah,
this is Shirley.
Yeah, that's it. No, Shirley, this is Brenda, I think. Barbara. This is Shirley. That's what it is. This is Barbara. Hey, Barbara. This is Shirley.
Now, if y'all listen to episode 1, y'all know where we going with this, all right? But y'all, we'll be back next week, Wednesday, for another episode of Dish and Dine. Love y'all. God bless y'all.